Hey everybody, I'm Chef AJ and welcome to Healthy Living. You know, healthy living starts with healthy eating. So I'm going to show you some healthy and delicious recipes that will help you to look and feel your best. Joining me in the kitchen today is Dr. Hans Diehl, the founder of the Lifestyle Medicine Institute and a clinical professor of preventative medicine at Loma Linda University. His Complete Health Improvement Program, known as CHIP, has more than 70,000 graduates worldwide. His best-selling books have more than 2 million copies in circulation, and they have brought health, hope, and healing to thousands of people in many, many countries. Also joining us will be Shada Soleimani, who has lost over 100 pounds on the Ultimate Weight Loss Program. We are going to show you some healthy and delicious recipes that will help you to satisfy your sweet tooth without using sugar. So let's get cooking. Dr. Diehl, I'm so excited to have you on Healthy Living.
I'm excited being with you.
Oh, thank you. So I thought it would be fun to make some recipes from your wonderful Optimal Diet Cookbook.
That's a good idea.
It's a wonderful book, and I use it all the time. So one of the things I'd like to make, you had a millet pudding recipe that sounded fantastic, but it's really hot in Southern California. So instead of baking it, I thought we could make it in the Instant Pot pressure cooker.
Excellent.
Yeah, really. Do you have a pressure cooker?
I should have one. That's the next gift for my wife.
Absolutely. I think Lily would love it because I know that when I stayed with you, she made a delicious 7-grain cereal for breakfast that she made in the crock pot, which is wonderful. But with a pressure cooker, it's done literally in minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a cup of millet. You could toast it if you like. And in the Instant Pot, I have 3 cups of a non-dairy milk. I'm using unsweetened almond milk. So I'm just going to pour it in just like that. I'm going to make it a little sweet because it's going to be, you know, sort of a desserty type thing. Could be a breakfast. This is date syrup, and I'm using 6 tablespoons. And what I like about date syrup, Dr. Diehl, is that it's really a whole food. It's made only from dates. That's the only ingredient. So it has the fiber and the vitamins, minerals, phytochemicals, antioxidants. And what I like about date syrup as opposed to refined sugar is I can actually make this in my own kitchen, and I have. This is a wonderful company, organic. It's called I Love Date Lady, and they don't put any sugar in their date syrup. Believe it or not, some companies do, which kind of defeats the purpose. My spices are a teaspoon of roasted cinnamon and a half a teaspoon of cardamom. Wait till you start smelling it. A tablespoon of alcohol-free vanilla. And then all I do is I put the top on, and I'm going to put it on for 10 minutes. So you would have time to do this in the morning, make it for your breakfast porridge, you know, walk the dog if you have one, take a shower. Set it, forget it. Now, one of the recipes I've loved in your book, because they actually served it to us when I took the CHIP program, of which I'm a graduate, by the way, and I still have my pedometer.
Me too. Very good.
I'm at almost 5,000 steps today, is they make this wonderful blueberry sauce from your book, which I believe you said could use any fruit. But
you could use the blueberries, raspberries, peaches, all of these kind of fruits.
Absolutely. So in here we have 2 cups of unsweetened apple juice. And then I'm going to add 6 tablespoons of organic cornstarch. And
so they will thicken. Right?
Absolutely. And you could use arrowroot if you prefer. So I'm just going to give this a little stir. And I'm putting it on high heat. And when it starts to thicken a little bit, I'm going to add these 3 cups of defrosted wild blueberries. So while I'm going to switch places with you. Please feel free to stir. Even though you're a doctor, I'm sure you have some rudimentary cooking skills. Another fabulous recipe from your book, and we're putting all 3 of these together, by the way, is your creamed pear topping. It's like a whipped cream, and it's made from just pears or peaches, which you can buy in glass or cans, completely unsweetened. We have a 28-ounce jar of pears. To it, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of raw cashews. And we love vanilla here, so a tablespoon of vanilla.
People love simple recipes, don't they?
I think the only way to maintain a healthy lifestyle is if your recipes are simple. And that's what I love about the pressure cooker and these tools that actually help us get healthy food on the table fast. And it's so much less expensive if you make your food at home instead of eating out. So all we do is turn on the blender. And that's it. Now we have to wait for that to cook and that to thicken. And in the meantime, I'd love for you to tell our viewers about this wonderful program called CHIP, C-H-I-P, that you founded. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but CHIP stands for clearly Hans is perfect.
I love you. Okay, when you change it, you're right on target.
No.
Well, actually, it stands for Complete Health Improvement Program. It's a program designed to arrest and reverse many of our common modern killer diseases like heart disease and diabetes and obesity and hypertension, these kind of things. Because medically, we can't do really all that much for them except give them some symptomatic relief. But we can turn these diseases around if we make some changes how we eat, exercise, and so on.
Absolutely. You know, I had the privilege of taking the program 5 years ago, and we had a facilitator named Wendy Gable who was not only knowledgeable but inspirational. And I think one of the things I love best about participating in the CHIP program wasn't just that we learned recipes, but the camaraderie, the social aspect of doing it in a group, making these changes with a group of like-minded people.
You need to have support. And when you see somebody becoming successful, you figure, well, maybe I can do it too, right? So,
and the pedometer was really helpful because I realized, you know, as a chef, sometimes I stand for 12 hours on my feet, 1,000 steps, and now I really am aware that I'm not moving enough on the days that I'm doing that.
You know, you wear a pedometer and automatically you're probably increasing your steps by 2,000 steps a day because you have this special goal, you want to reach it, right?
When did you found the CHIP program and what gave you the idea to do that?
Well, I was reading an article in the 1970s, I was in graduate school then, about a province in Finland which was known as the Valley of Beautiful Widows. Behind that was the fact that many of their husbands had died at 35, 40, 45 years of age. This was the area in the world that had the highest rate of heart disease, coronary risk #1. And then a young physician came into the area and said, we need to change the diet. He began to change the salt intake, the fat intake, the animal products. He said, we need to bring some fruits and vegetables in here.
Right.
And you know, 25 years later, the disease rate, the death rate from heart disease had dropped by 73%. That's what inspired me.
That's incredible.
And then, of course, I had Nathan Pritikin.
You used to work for him,
I used to work there, yeah.
What a pioneer he was.
Yes, he was. It was a residential program. People would come there for 4 weeks. They would eat very simple foods, unprocessed foods, exercise. And we saw, I mean, I was stunned. The diabetes came down, the high blood pressure came down, the medications came down. And I said, I need to do this, but how do I do this for everybody?
Right.
And so it evolved into a program where I would then take it to the community and help people in communities. And now we have some 70,000 people around the world that are doing these kind of programs.
That's absolutely inspiring and amazing. You actually live in a community that is known for its longevity. Would you like to talk about where you live?
Well, we live in Loma Linda, which is known as the Blue Zone.
Right.
That's where the longest living people live. And Loma Linda is sort of a center of this kind of a thing.
Because you're 152, right?
Well, thank you, thank
Just
you.
kidding. You're not that
Am
much
I looking that old?
You look fantastic.
Well, actually, it's a faith-based concept where people actually live a very health-promoting lifestyle, simple foods, unprocessed foods, many of them, exercise, these kind of things.
And close personal relationships, too. I think that
there's a lot of
helps,
social support there,
That does help. So now that this is boiling, what I'd like to do is put the 3 cups of blueberries in so that we can get a nice thick sauce. This is great on waffles, pancakes. You can even put it on oatmeal, really. And we'll just continue to stir that. Dr. Diehl, could you please tell our viewers how they can participate in this wonderful CHIP program?
Well, it's very simple. It's a website, and you go to chiphealth.com, and everything is there. Easy.
Terrific, and I really recommend it. Well, Dr. Diehl, it looks like our creamy millet pudding is done. Would you mind releasing the pressure? Thank you. Wow, you're an excellent chef.
Well, of course.
Let me show you how I like to finish this dish. So what I like to do is I like to take the millet pudding. It thickens as it chills. Millet's an excellent, healthy whole grain. And I like to layer it with the blueberry sauce and put it in a beautiful parfait glass. Did you know that parfait means perfect in French?
Good.
And then top it.
You are living up to it.
Yeah. Top it with your delicious recipe for creamed pears. Look at this. Now, this can actually be a healthy breakfast because there's nothing in it that's bad for you, or it could be a delicious dessert. I'll let you go first.
Thank you.
Make sure you get a little bit of each of the 3 flavors in there and tell me what you think.
I've done this before. Now I see what you did.
It's good, huh?
And especially on a hot summer day, it's right on target.
Right.
Excellent.
Well, this is your recipe
Well,
and my representation of it.
We have good judgment,
That's right? We work very well together.
That's right.
I hope you'll make this recipe, and I also hope you'll come right back because we have a very special guest that's going to show you a recipe to make that will help you to satisfy your sweet tooth without using sugar. Back, I would like to introduce you to Shada Soleimani, who has lost over 100 pounds on the Ultimate Weight Loss Program and has gone from a size 2X to a 4'6". Congratulations.
Well, thank you, AJ. Thank you for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Now, do you have any proof that you really lost 100 pounds?
Well, I'm glad you asked because yes, I do, and here it is. This was the old me,
Wow.
and this is the new me.
I think holding that drink in your hand probably contributed a little
Oh,
bit.
I think that contributed an awful lot. So yes,
You look absolutely stunning.
thank
That's
you
amazing.
so much.
You said 100 pounds?
Yes, 100
I mean,
pounds.
that means
It's another-
there were two Shadas
There
there.
was two of me, more of me to love, right?
Tell us about that.
So they say that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, Chef AJ and John Pierre came in like a wrecking ball and completely changed my life. And they actually saved my life. And I really want to thank you for that.
Well, you did. You got me these beautiful earrings for my birthday, and if you have any other jewelry, I'd be happy to accept.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I have always struggled with my weight. It's always gone up and down. I've tried every diet that's out there. I've been successful on some diets, but always managed to regain everything and then some.
That's
So it
exactly
never
what
was,
happens.
you know, it never stabilized. I even went to a very prominent doctor in San Diego, which I won't mention any names, but he had told me that it would take Herculean efforts for me to ever lose weight. Well, he hadn't met you yet.
That wasn't very encouraging.
No,
was
it wasn't very encouraging, and unfortunately, it really messed up with my head and everything, emotionally, physically, and I finally gave up. And I said, well, if nothing's going to work, so then what's the point? I might as well eat. Now, I had been a vegan for about 15 years, but I call myself a junk food vegan because, as you know, French fries, potato chips, Diet Coke, all that is, you know, it's vegan, and I could have it. Those vegan cookies.
That was my diet.
Processed foods was huge. And, but you know, I finally woke up one morning and said, I am really sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I didn't want to do this
And
anymore.
didn't you have some markers in your lab test?
I
that were not
did.
favorable?
I was pre-diabetic. I had high cholesterol, high triglycerides. They had labeled me as metabolic syndrome, syndrome X, all these weird names that I didn't want to be associated with any of that.
On your way to chronic disease.
On my way to chronic
Typical
disease.
American development.
Exactly. And unfortunately, my grandmother died of heart failure, and she was on 28 different medications.
Wow.
And I did not want to be that statistic, and I did not want my mom or my aunt to be that statistic either. So finding the Ultimate Weight Loss Program was huge.
And when you changed the way you ate, everything changed.
Everything changed. I lost 100 pounds. I got off on all my medications. I'm no longer taking anything. And the doctors were actually surprised.
Fantastic.
And, you know, everything's great. My sugar levels have never been this low. And the doctor is really surprised. And at one point, he even told me, oh, I'm glad we upped your medication because look at this.
I know.
And I had to sit him down and say, well, let me tell you, I haven't been taking your medication for over a year.
That's
And he was just
hilarious.
like, what do you mean you haven't been taking it? I said, no. He goes, well, what have you been eating? I said, potatoes, rice, whole foods, nothing processed, no refined carbohydrates. And he just looked at me like, the only thing he said was, like, you can't have potatoes. And I said, well, why not?
Really? That's how I lost 60 pounds, eating nothing but potatoes
Right?
and rice.
And potatoes, well, to him, it's like potato. It's like the guacamole, the mayo, the cheese, the bacon. I said, that's what makes you fat, not what
Not
I'm
the
putting,
potato,
not the
right.
potato itself.
So what kind of foods are you eating now that helped you lose over 100 pounds?
Well,
and
one
will
of-
you make a recipe for us?
Absolutely. One of my favorite recipes that really helped me to lose this weight is the fennel salad. And it's really, really easy. Let me show, AJ, would you like to show them what
Yeah,
the
this
fennel?
is what fennel looks like. It's a bulb, and some of the fronds have been taken off. It's sort of similar to celery, but it tastes like
Yeah,
licorice.
that's a pretty Mediterranean kind of a dish, isn't it?
It tastes like licorice candy, like
It
Good
does.
and Plenty.
Yes.
It's delicious.
Right, and I'm from Iran originally, and we use a lot of dates in our meals. So it's really wonderful to be able to incorporate this way of eating and adding some dates to this to make it a little sweet. So here I have some shredded fennel.
She cut it on the sharp blades of a mandolin. Always
now-
make sure to use a glove when you're using a mandolin.
Exactly, and now I'm going to add shredded, the zest of one lemon.
And to do that, you take one of these cool little tools, and you go like that.
Super easy.
Easy enough. Yeah.
Really, really delicious. Always make sure if you're using the zest that it's organic.
And I believe we have 1 cup of lemon juice.
Just the juice from the lemons.
So we have a cup of
About a
lemon
cup.
juice.
Just to taste, a half a cup to a cup.
You can add more if you like as you're tasting it. And we also have some chopped dates. Now with the dates, you could either do medjool dates, or you could do the deglet nor dates.
Just make sure they're pitted.
That's it.
This recipe
Yes,
was
yes.
submitted actually by a lady that got it from her husband who's Israeli. Which,
There you go.
And it's her name is Ellen Greek, so thank you, Ellen, for this.
And you just toss everything together, mix it really well.
So that's, again, very, very simple.
Right.
That's what people
People want easy recipes.
Good tasting, simple, healthy recipes.
And I think that's what saved me, because I like quick and easy recipes, but it has to have flavor. And one thing that Chef AJ does, and she does it very well, is that the food has a lot of flavor. So, Dr. Diehl, would you like to try some?
Yeah, I do. How do we take this? Do we have a spoon? Do we have a
how about a
fork? I don't have any gloves.
Bon appetit.
Well,
Looks beautiful.
so this is a special
Good
salad.
and, good and plenty fennel salad, that's what we call it. Good job.
It is like licorice.
Right? It's really tasty.
Sweet, a little bit.
No
A little
sugar.
bit of tart.
A little tart.
You were saying maybe
crunchy.
put some apples in here would be a great idea.
Sometimes I take a green apple and I'll chop it up and I'll add that in there. It adds a little crunch, more crunch to it.
You know, the longer you chew it,
Yep.
the more the flavor comes out.
Absolutely.
It's excellent. Wonderful.
Well, I'm glad you
Thank you.
enjoyed it.
So now what? What's next for the irrepressible Shada after this
Well,
remarkable 100-pound
I
loss?
really want to help and inspire people to do what I've done. I really want to get into coaching, mentoring. So I was hoping that maybe you might have some suggestions for me.
Oh, you know, it's not enough just to take it all in. You have an enthusiasm, you have a passion to helping others. You need to now channel that.
But do I need to be a physician or a dietitian? I don't have those kind of degrees.
Listen, I have just a perfect program for you. It's called CHIP. CHIP. That stands for Complete Health Improvement Program. It's a program that is run in communities. It's run in doctors' offices. It can be run in faith
Oh,
communities.
wow, really?
Yes. And what we need, we need people like you.
Oh, that would be
You could become a
wonderful.
facilitator.
That would be fantastic.
You don't have to be a physician or a nurse or a dietitian or a chiropractor. That's fine too.
Sure.
We need people that have a passion and that are, organized and they love to interact with people and say, you can do it. Not like that physician that said
No.
it would take a Herculean effort.
So
right?
what is the time frame? How does one get into that? What do I need? Do I need to submit a letter? Do I need to go through an interview process?
You just go on our website and you learn everything there. You call us up.
ChipHealth.com.
You call us up and we'll take you there from.
Oh, that's
It's very
fantastic
easy,
news.
simple, because the CHIP program runs on videos.
Okay.
So you don't have to be the expert. As a matter of fact, we want you to be just an enthusiastic person that lives the CHIP lifestyle, because that's what inspires
And
people.
I can do that.
You can do
I
that.
can do that.
Make sure you come right back, because Dr. Diehl is going to tell us all more about how we can not only take this amazing CHIP program, but become facilitators ourselves. And we're going to make a delicious sweet ending, a dessert that is going to knock your socks off. Thank you so much for making
Absolutely.
this
Thank you for having me. I really
Absolutely.
enjoyed it. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you, Dr. Diehl.
And
Thank you so
amazing.
much. Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you. Thank
I'm
you so
going to get
much.
in on this.
Group hug, group hug.
Welcome back now for my favorite part of every show, the dessert segment, the sweet endings. And we like to show people that even on a healthy lifestyle, they don't have to dessert if it's made from healthy, whole, natural ingredients.
Exactly.
Now, we're not going to make this cake today. I hope to make it on a future episode of Healthy Living, but I brought it as my gift to you, Dr. Diehl, because you are the one that inspired the world-famous German chocolate cake that I created for years in the restaurant that I worked at as the executive pastry chef.
You brought that to our house one time.
The first time we met.
It was divine. I mean, it was, should I say, decadent and healthy. That's a great combination, isn't
It's
it?
sweetened only with dates. It has no oil. It has no sugar. It has no salt. It's pretty darn good.
This is better than any German chocolate I've had in Germany
Wow.
or here.
That is quite a compliment, and it is my gift for you from coming
Thank
all the
you.
way from Loma Linda
Well,
to being on
thank
this
you.
show. You are so welcome. You and Lily enjoy. But I want to show you a really easy recipe that comes together in minutes with ingredients that many people probably already have. I know that when I stayed with you, you had all these ingredients in your pantry because we made some. These are no-bake brownies. So we're going to start with 2 cups of walnuts, and we're putting them in the food processor fitted with the S-blade. If for some reason you can't have walnuts or don't like them, you could use pecans or hazelnuts. I recommend that they use raw nuts and unsalted for sure. So what we're going to do is we're going to process the nuts into like a flour consistency. We don't want to keep processing because then we'll get a nut butter. just a quick pulse or two. Then we're going to add a half a cup of a very good quality cocoa powder. I like darker, richer cocoa powders even better, but you can use whatever you want. And you know, there are people that can't have chocolate for whatever reason, so they could use carom powder if they want.
Can, yes.
Absolutely,
Yes.
same
They will
amount.
do it too.
Right, raw or roasted carom powder. We're going to incorporate this quickly. And now, here's our glue and our sugar. Pitted dates. These are the Diehl Nor. Feel free to use medjool, whatever you want. And we're going to whiz this around until it starts to form a ball. This could take a few minutes. When it gets to the point where it starts slowing down and it starts incorporating into a ball, I'm going to add a tablespoon of alcohol-free vanilla. And
That was vanilla.
That was vanilla. I love vanilla.
Okay.
So these are nonstick silicone molds, hearts and flowers. You could get any
Oh,
shape you
yeah.
want,
Very
stars, clovers, whatever you like, snowmen for Christmas time. You can make them into little balls. And what you do, and get the kids involved, is you just press them in. And that's it.
Easy
Quick
enough.
and easy. I like
Yeah.
to chill them. I like to actually even freeze them because they taste so good
So, I mean,
frozen.
this is pretty sophisticated here, right? I mean, you can just make some balls, you can make some little squares, right? But you have them done in...
Pre-made into any shape you want. And we're going to
Wonderful.
use this as the base for our next recipe. This is delicious as is, Dr. Diehl, but I like to add a little something special on top, and I'm going to show you how to make ice cream with one ingredient. Dr. Diehl, you've been such a good boy this episode and so helpful tasting all the recipes that I'm going to reward you with ice cream.
Oh, my goodness.
But what's most ice cream? Full of dairy and cholesterol and saturated fat and sugar. We're going to make ice cream out of one ingredient, a frozen banana. And the reason it's going to be so creamy and delicious is from this machine called the Champion Juicer. All I do is turn it on, put the banana in, and watch the magic happen. This ice cream is so healthy you could eat it for breakfast because it's just a banana. And the texture is unparalleled. That's it.
That's it?
That's how you make it. Now,
You don't add anything to it?
that's it.
No vanilla?
Well, you
No
could.
chocolate?
Well, here's your chocolate.
I
I'm
see.
going to take your brownie in the dish, a heart-shaped one, because as the founder of the CHIP program, I know how important heart health is to you. A scoop of the luscious banana soft serve. And because you're an extra good boy, this is a date syrup product called caramel syrup. It's made just of dates. Look at that. Is that
Unbelievable.
unbelievable? Let me know what you think, because I know you'll be honest.
It looks fabulous.
It does. It looks like the real thing.
Yes.
But without all the calories and fat and cholesterol.
This is really legal?
It absolutely is. It's CHIP approved. What do you think? Kids would love it, wouldn't they? I'm so glad you like it. Dr. Diehl,
Let me just finish this one.
I'm a very big fan of your work. You have helped over 70,000 people adopt a healthy lifestyle. How would you advise somebody who wants to now teach your program and bring it into their communities? What qualifications would they require?
Well, you know, the most important qualification for a person to helping others is that you have a sincere desire of wanting this other person to become a friend, but more than that, a person that is empowered to feel, I can do it.
Right.
That's the most important thing. We need to empower people. We can do it, and we give them the tools and the skills to make it happen.
Right. And it's really great, like Shada, who actually accomplished these amazing health goals herself, could now inspire other people to do the same, realize that they're not alone, somebody that's been in their shoes.
You know, sometimes people have the idea that health has to be taught by professionals. But that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, physicians are coming now increasingly into the CHIP program because they can build their clinic in a financially responsible manner, and they see the improvement of their patients now really happening.
And that must be encouraging, other than just writing prescriptions for pills,
Diabetes.
that instead of treating the disease, merely slow the progression of the disease.
That's correct. We've got to attack the causes. And so physicians can build their practices. Chiropractors use them. People that are dietitians.
Nurses, even?
Excellent.
Right.
But also a lay person
Right.
that has a what should I say, a sincere desire wanting to help people. and is equipped with a sense of administrative know-how. They have to be organized.
Do they have to be a wonderful public speaker, and how much training do they need, and how much education?
It all happens. It's done by an engaging video series, 19 videos. It's all done for you, different speakers, very carefully done. And all you do as a facilitator, you make sure everything is organized, and you discuss afterwards, what have you really learned?
How long is the training for CHIP facilitators?
2 days.
2 days, that's it. And is it easy to get to? Is it in a major metropolitan city, or do they have to?
Now, we certify people in 2 days. They come to different locations that's convenient for them, and we then provide them with a backup. We mentor them. We have an office staff. We support them. They don't have to become experts. They just have to be willing to have a serviceable attitude, to be gentle, because when it comes to making lifestyle changes, you don't use a hammer.
Right.
You use a cotton ball. That's what you need. People need to understand that you really care for them. When they understand that you care for them, they'll be willing to do it for you.
Someone once told me that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's exactly right.
Well, your work has inspired so many people. You've had inspired me, and it seems like it would be such rewarding work for somebody to become a CHIP facilitator. And if they're not interested in that at that point in their journey, maybe just take the CHIP program. I did, my husband did. We loved it. We absolutely loved it. And once again, the CHIP program stands for, and how do they find out more about it?
It stands for the Complete Health Improvement Program, and you can just go to the website. That is chiphealth.com.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Diehl, for being a guest on Healthy Living. In addition to the 70,000 people that you've inspired to adopt a healthy lifestyle, you've also inspired me. And it's on your shoulders I stand that I become tall. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
So I hope today that you were inspired that you actually can satisfy your sweet tooth without using sugar by simply using the fruit, the whole fruit, and nothing but the whole fruit. We made a delicious, creamy millet pudding parfait topped with a pear whipped cream, a fennel salad that tastes just like Good and Plenty candy, and my favorite, a decadent chocolate fudge brownie topped with banana ice cream and caramel sauce. Thanks so much for watching another episode of Healthy Living. I'm Chef AJ, and I make healthy taste delicious.